All right, hello and welcome to the next Nix Hour. So today we will take a look at the systemd service lifecycle in NixOS and other systems as well. Well, maybe Home Manager if we get to it. All right, let's take a look. So actually, before we start, we might need to debug something here briefly. So I have this template here, which I use to get a VM going. You can look at this in the Nix Hour repository, template/VM. But when I tried to actually build a VM, it rebuilt a bunch of things, and I don't really intend for that to happen. So if we take a closer look here, we have something fairly standard, like a way to build the... Well, it's not that standard, to be honest, but it's a way to get a NixOS VM to build. Let me just take a look here. So in our configuration here, we actually didn't clean this from a previous instance. Actually, I think I should just kind of stash all of these changes. Yeah, let me just try recopying, because I believe the state on the master branch should be correct. And this apparently takes a while because I have an Emacs source backed out here. So let me just enter this separately here. Yeah, this is actually, maybe I shouldn't have stashed all the untracked files. That's what the -u does. Let's see what happens if I cancel this. Yeah, let me just remove Emacs here. And I believe that's probably the fixed one in there. Stash -u. Would be nice to see what's going on there. Yeah, that would be nice. Hold on, what do I have in here? That's so big. Don't really see anything. I might try to stash the result as well. I don't think it should do that. So let me just check out the templates VM, and it should be fine. I don't think we had anything that important there. I'll copy it back over. All right, now let me try this again. So I have a VM in here, which I want to try. Oh, wait, this is a clue. VM.system, VM.run. No, I think that shouldn't be a problem. All right, let's see. But yeah, maybe before, while waiting for that, and hopefully, oh, actually, no, that seems to be building something. What does it build here? It seems to build something relating to GTK. Maybe if we use numbuild instead, that's Nix output monitor, we should get a bit more information about what's happening and why. Well, not necessarily why. So there's no direct correspondence of Nix derivations to like Nix files or anything. But at least we can see where it comes from. So yeah, the GNOME shell, GNOME control center. That's odd. So how could we try seeing what's up there? We could take a look at what Nix packages version I'm using. I'm going to use, so I think I have this exported here. Actually, no, I don't. We can export it fairly easily. Just going to inherit packages here. Now I can do we can use Nix REPL. Then look at packages, and I believe we can use lib.revision with default. Oh, it's in trivial revision with default. And let's just check this. Oh, we don't have that here. Oh, I believe, yeah. Wait, sources on Nix packages. No, that should be not a problem. Let's check out. Actually, why is... Yeah, niv isn't here. Let's check out niv show. And oh, the sources file doesn't exist. That is not... Why does it try to build anything at all then? Oof. Okay, sources. Oh, right, I used npins here. Never mind. Npins show. We have Nix packages. We have this revision. Oh yeah, why do I have this branch checked out? So I'm gonna update this. Yeah, it's npins. So I'm gonna update this and say channel Nix OS unstable. Should be good. And I believe I need to do it like this. Name Nix packages. All right, that should override the Nix packages entry. And fetch it from the channel. That should also make sure that revision with default works. Let's take a look. All right, we have the latest channel. Now let me try building this again. All right, it might, well, actually, let's use non-build. Oh. Yeah, I think I hit the Ctrl-C bug, although I can mention that since very recently, I believe the Nix release 2.20, I think that bug was fixed. I'm not using that version just yet, though. Release notes, Ctrl-C, it's mentioned in here. It's not in the release notes, but I believe it was fixed. Ctrl-C. Yeah, this one. Finally closed after, well, I think it existed for longer than 22, but it was finally fixed. But I'm not using that version yet. We could, well, so for now I need to just kill the, so let's kill the Nix command here. Let's go here. Where is it actually? Oh, it's not here. Where is it? Nix build, this one. I hope I'm killing the root process there. Yeah. All right, we could mess around with this a bit by saying that, so we have an infer C here, use Nix, which by default uses shell.nix. In shell.nix, I just have a small wrapper to delegate this to default.nix. And in default.nix, I have the shell defined down here. And since Nix consists of both client-side and daemon-side, we could, Ctrl-C would work, although I think that puts it in the background. And then, well, you have a running process in the background that hopefully finishes at some point, I guess. But what we could try here is to just add Nix itself to the environment. And although actually in Nix packages, Nix isn't updated to 2.20 yet due to a regression, so that won't really work. But we can just see here Nix unstable. Let's check the version and see if we can change it by adding it in here. So let's go 62. I believe, okay, I hope we are not running into that. We might be. If I change this file, I expect drnf to have to reload it, but I don't think it does do that. So I think I need to manually call a drnf reload. That's a bug in Nix drnf. I believe it should be fixed. I reported that a couple months ago. Yeah, okay, now it actually does something. Yeah, but I believe if you update Nix drnf, and I also haven't done that yet, you should get this. Well, this should just re-entering the environment should fix it. All right, now let's check the next version, and it was updated, although not to the latest version, even the unstable ones point to 2.20 yet. But yeah, that should get fixed, hopefully soon. Okay, but yeah, in here we still have the Control-C behavior. Anyways, it's a way to show that we can update the Nix client version and the Nix daemon version stays the same. So I'm not sure how we could show this actually. What we do show config, does that include daemon version? Probably not. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I guess there isn't the Nix daemon binary. Oh, Nix door ping. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, thanks. Yes, Nix door ping, still have the old daemon. Yes, okay, let's actually try to get on topic here. So we need to build the VM. Well, rabbit holes. Let's see if it actually works this time. I believe it should. NB is an alias, by the way. Same for NE, NI. Fairly convenient, in my opinion. All right, let's see. I didn't use numbuild this time, but I'll just leave it going for now. It seems to be, let's scroll up here. Oh no. Oh no, it's building a lot of things. Oh, well, that's the Nix system. This is expected. So, well, I hope it's just that and not more. It's a bit hard to know at this point. Yeah, so it's all of these, maybe I can mention this as well. So all of these like etc files, configuration files, they are not pushed to the caches. So you don't substitute them. In many cases, you don't change all of these files, but I guess in some cases you do. And then it does make a lot of sense to have them be substituted because every user will have a different one. So yeah, I believe that's the same for all of the etc files. So if you go in here, etc, etc.nix, I believe, and take a look at make etc entry. Not sure if it's. I guess it's the etc builder, maybe. Source, where is that? Make etc entry.source. I guess it depends on how the source is specified. And I believe that's usually done with, if you go to build support trivial builders, I believe that's usually done with write text file. And write text file has these flags by default. So prefer local build true. I believe that makes it so if you have remote builders, it doesn't try to build it on the remote systems. And allow substitutes sounds a bit similar, but that's for actually substituting from caches. And so I guess I'm not actually sure why this has to be false here, because I guess it speeds up the Nix evaluation because it doesn't need to check whether the path even exists on the substitutor. It can just build it locally. The expectation here is that it's much quicker to just build it locally because it's a really quick derivation. Yeah. All right, and that actually works. We can finally get into the VM here. Run Nexus VM. Let's check if it works. Hope that my computer can handle it. Yeah, so fetch it from these cache would take longer. Yes. Well, so sometimes there is, I believe, some cases of write text file, like if the check phase, for example, takes a long time. Oh yeah, and actually that's a good point. So if you need tooling to create this derivation, even if it takes like 1 millisecond to create, if you need tooling, you then also need to download that tooling locally. And in turn, if you allow substitutes, then you don't need to fetch the tooling locally because the substitutor already built it and has it available for you. So it's a bit of a trade-off there, and sometimes you might not want these. Generally, not like keeping the default. So these are By default, this is true and this is false. By default, this works for like 99% of derivations, and it's really just a minor optimization in my opinion. Okay, so we have an Nix system here finally. So the systemd service lifecycle, how does that work? And I guess, first of all, I put some minor notes here. When the services get started and stopped, that should be fairly obvious. But let's go here and see if I remember how to use GNOME. Open a console, and we're just gonna take a look. I mean, it's running, they're running. So they do get started on system starts. But they also get started. Well, actually, let's use system control all, shows all the services. And I believe also if we can scroll a bit to the right, whether they're loaded and active, inactive, failed. There's manage and install color profiles failed apparently. Yeah, we can take a look at the failure if we want with kernel control-u, color.service. And then we get can't open database, unable to open database file. Okay. Anyways, so started on system start, but also if you add new services. So if we go to our NixOS configuration here, this is kind of nicely mirrored, so we can. Oh, why is this here? Well, okay. All right. So this is nicely mirrored here. So I have it both in the Nix Hour repository and locally here. So any changes you'll be able to see in the repo afterwards. But yeah, also if we add new services. So let's say we go here and do like, actually, do we have a different configuration file? Demo, personal demo, maybe? Yeah, I should clean this up a bit. I'll do that beforehand. So yeah, system details services dot my service. We're going to declare a very simple one. Let's just call this script. By default, if you declare this, it runs it as root. I should really set tab. What is it? Tabs. Expand tab, I believe. Well. Set tab width. I don't know. Anyways. So, oh, this is actually really annoying. Let me set tab stop to, no, set tab stop equals to. Well, not quite. I think there's something. So I have both of these. I think it's something else though. Indent, no. I'm gonna briefly look this up in my own configuration because I can't, don't want to deal with this. Shift width, that was it, thanks. Shift width equals 2. All right, very good. And I should probably commit these into here actually. Where is the Vim configuration? Let's see, configuration Vim, neovim, and I believe this is just NixOS. So I'm going to look up neovim, programs.neovim, and I believe there should be something like, well, I configure, I guess there's no extra config, I believe. Yeah, so let's use configure. Configure equals and then custom RC, and then we set shift width equals 2, set tab stop equals 2, and we set expand tab. All right. So that should work after we rebuild by default. Okay, so script. Let's create a simple script. I'm just gonna make, I want to have a service that continuously runs. So let's do something like a while true loop. Yeah, so this is bash. And in here, we're just going to have like a, or let's do an echo starting. We're going to do a stopping here, although since I believe systemd by default sends a sigint, we need to do something a bit more clever. We can do a trap here. Say trap run echo stopping. If you exit the script, I believe that might work. We might need something like int here, a sigint. Let's try this. All true, then sleep for, let's say, 5 seconds, and then echo still running. All right, and that should, well, not quite. And actually, maybe let's just see what happens if we try this. Okay, I'm going to move this around a bit. All right, and let me rebuild this. I'm going to create a new window. Or window, yes. Which I can do here. Shift-Control-N for the future. Is there a way to align these? Not quite, or I don't know how. Set ET. All right, we got some Vim pips here. ET. Oh, I can switch windows with Control-Tab. Okay. What is ET? That is, oh, that's expand tab. I see. AI, what is AI in Vim? Oh, AI. Oh, help AI. Oh, auto indent. Ah, I see. Oh, that's good to know. Let me actually also add this. Vim set auto indent or AI, not the meaning you'd expect nowadays. Okay, and I just closed the other window, didn't I? Control Shift N. All right, that's good. Now I have a what is it called? I totally forgot now. We have a way to rebuild from within the configuration. And I believe it should be somewhere in here, or deploy VM switch. All right. Oh, it defaults to on auto indent. That's good to know. Oh yeah. All right, auto indent defaults to true, and actually I've been annoyed at auto indent in the past, so I might actually turn that off. It indents Nix code a bit oddly sometimes, I noticed, or maybe that was something else. All right, it seems to be doing something. And meanwhile, I could maybe try to, okay, that works. What is that? Is that, well, I can't use the like Windows key or I don't know, Linux key, whatever. Is it Alt? I think, no, it's not Alt. Yeah, Super, I think it's Super. Can't use that here because I'm using that for my host system. But this actually works decently. All right, and let's see. I need a trap to catch the sigint. That's good to know. That we should see that then here shortly. Okay, so we can see here following new units were started, but I'm not really sure why these. Well, we might figure out later. But these are, we're not interested in these. We had our own one that we wanted to be activated, but it's not. So let's do just a status on ours here, my service. My service. So it exists, but it's not loaded. So we could enable it manually, I believe. My service. Authentication. Demo. Oh, do I not know? The password should be empty. Weird. Maybe I can sudo this. Yeah. All right, so now it should be enabled. Well, no, not again. Status. Yeah. All right, and let's actually do journal control -u my service -e, still running. Okay, and let's also just verify we can stop it like this. Now, usually you wouldn't have to do this, but we're gonna start simple here. Sudo, and let's see. Oh, it seems to have caught this. So I guess the trap might not be necessary, or the systemd, how does systemd actually stop services? Let's see exec what is it, terminate or something. Int success, that's not what we want. Good look at systemd.directives. That contains all of the... Oh yeah, I added a trap, but it didn't explicitly catch sigint. I only caught exit, although I guess exit probably is something bash specific that also incorporates sigint. But yeah, that might be in systemd.service. Very useful man page. So sigint, if we look into here, yeah, here. Well, this is restart. We'd be interested in the... Actually, it's not here. It sure isn't here. Man bash. The exit trap runs on any exit. Okay, that's good to know. I think it might be, there's systemd.kill, I believe. Yeah. And I believe the default here, yeah, sigterm is the default. All right, interrupt would be like in the terminal if you run Control-C. Okay, well, good to know. But we now need to figure out how to start the service automatically. And for this, we're gonna dig a bit into the implementation. I'm gonna switch to my host system here and just look at, actually, we do npins show. I want to get to the same Nix packages version as this one. The hash isn't here. Let me just use this. Let's check out this one. All right. And I think that should be clean. All right. So Nix's modules. And yeah, actually before, how do we find this? So if you activate a Nix system and, well, there's an activation script that runs, although it's not actually that one we're interested in, I believe. Let's take a look. So that would be in run what is it? Run current system, or booted system also exists. But usually the current system is the one you want. And then we have activate in here. All right, let's take a look. So this is what runs, I believe, both during, like when you boot the machine, but also when you do a rebuild. And so these are slightly different because if you rebuild, you want it to automatically start and stop services, like independent of how the system usually starts them. Whereas with booting, that's how you usually start them. Okay, so wasn't there a Perl script in here? Yeah, so this runs for both. So this doesn't contain the actual code to restart the services. So we need to look one level higher, and that would be in, I believe, Nix's rebuild itself. It's just a shell script, so we can just do vim Nix's rebuild. Oh, wait, Nix's rebuild. Do I have that alias to something? No, that is that. Oh, do I have like? I thought I had the melee set up. Which Nix's rebuild? Oh, I didn't use which there. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so in here we have a lot of command line handling, but at some point it should call a Perl script, I believe. or as, oh, I think it's actually switch to configuration. Yes. So it calls switch to configuration, and we can also see here path to config slash bin slash switch to configuration. Now path to config, I believe that's, yeah, that's also in the current system. Actually, we can go back into here. Vim run current system. I believe that's in bin. Yeah, so we saw the current config. That's this path, but it might change depending on, like, for example, if you haven't rebuilt yet, this wouldn't be at that point yet. But once you have it rebuilt, you can look into these scripts at these paths. So bin, and we only have a single one in here, switch to configuration. All right, and so this is a Perl script, a bit archaic. There is actually an effort to, yeah, get rid of, well, this is an older one. Oh, Perl's activation. There is an effort to get rid of Perl in from within the core of Nix OS. But yeah, here we can actually get to kind of the first meat of what I want to talk about here, and that is how services get started and stopped. There's a bunch of comments in here. There's a bunch of extra files in here, but essentially this implements the logic for this. And this also includes, if you look at multi-user.target, yeah, so multi-user.target is a special systemd target. So I believe we could go systemd.special multi-user.target. It's kind of documented here. Special unit for setting up multi-user systems. Non-graphical, this is pulled in by graphical.target. Yeah, and so units that are needed for a multi-user system shall add once dependency for their unit. And both systemd implements this. So when you boot up a machine, it checks the once dependencies and is like, oh yeah, I need to start all these units first, I believe. And only once all of these are started, the multi-user target is active. And so the same is implemented in this script here. We have, well, units multi-user.targets. Oh yeah, these, oh, actually, hold on, am I right here? Multi-user? Maybe this isn't right. I thought this was the case. Oh, this text is in. Oh yeah, I should improve that. Anyways, well, I guess this might not be the case. So let's take a closer look here, how this exactly works. So let's just orient ourselves here. So we have here called when a unit exits in both the old system and the new system and the units. This figures out what units are to be stopped, restarted, reloaded, started, and skipped. Yes, so that's the meat of what we want. So if the unit is one of these, then yeah, we can't really do any of that. Here's sockets, mounts, else. This is, yeah, this is, the interesting bits are kind of hinted at here. Although I guess, is that, so like, let's figure out how does it determine which ones to start? We have units to restart. Do we have a units to start? We have socket units to start here. Socket activated. Units to stop, units to start. Start list file. So that also exists. We have target. Okay, let's also take a look at, yeah, how is this done here? Start list file. Okay, let's dig a bit. What is start list? We're gonna go in here, grep for start list. There's no reference from here. Start list. We have switch test. Let's add -w. That's Oh, okay, that's not often used. Yeah, that's fair. Well, then I actually don't quite understand how it determines whether to restart the units. We have get active units. Unit is active. Parse fs tab. Parse any, parse unit. Let's see. The record unit. Compare units. I mean, that sounds pretty good, actually. All right, this compares units, determining whether they're changed. So actually, that's not quite what we need. So actually, maybe I'm just gonna do it. So the thing we need here is wanted by. And so wanted by is kind of the inverse of wanted. And so we can say multi-user.target here. That should cause it to start. I'm not sure about the mechanism that actually does this, but let's try it out. Let's do a VM switch. Oh, and by the way, VM switch, we can, like how I implemented this. So it first actually builds a new system. And as the second step, it does one of these, does a switch to configuration. Want by is handled when etc systemd is built. Yes, so we can look into, well, we can also look into run current system etc, but that's the same as etc itself. It's kind of copied into there, pretty much, not entirely. But yeah, we have systemd, we have service, where is it? System here. And then here are all the services. And in here, we will also find, right, like wireplumber.service, for example, which is actually kind of empty because I guess it's a templated service. But in here, we have things like after binds to and so on. Although I actually don't think Nix, these are being generated for the services in we declare ourselves. Oh, maybe they are. Let's take a look. And we can finally see here the following new units were started. And let's take a look where this actually ended up. etc system leave might be in here. Yeah, my service. All right. And here we can see wanted by multi-user.target. Okay. And yeah, let's take a look if the same. So it's the inverse also exists. Multi-user now wants this service. And let's see if that is actually reflected in here. It is not. So I guess systemd resolves that at runtime as well. Although there is also, I believe, a way to override these units. So actually overrides. Not quite sure where that is. Anyways, there's a way to provide upstream, to kind of reuse upstream service files. It's in the .d directory. I see. So like polkit.service.d, system polkit.service.d. Right here, overrides. These are also combined at runtime, so this allows systemd to kind of say that use the polkit.service file from upstream. This is done using systemd.packages, I believe. Here, packages providing systemd units and hooks. And because you don't want so like you generate these, well, actually you could do it. Anyways, you generate these override files using Nix, like with Nix code. But if you want to merge that with upstream configuration, you'd have to like evaluate, like import the file at evaluation time. Well, actually, that shouldn't be necessary. In fact, you could do it all at build time. Anyways, it's easier because if you just let systemd handle the merging. Oh, it isn't there. Let's check this. Where were we? System multi-user.target.once. Aha. That's neat. Yeah. Okay. So it, is that like symlinks or something? Yeah, it's symlinks. Okay, that's neat. Nice. Okay, but so that actually works. It restarted our service. So let's see what else we can do. And demo. I need to clean this up. All right, so demo, we have, yeah, so let's say we change the service. So let's say instead of sleeping or still running 3 exclamation points, and let's try rebuilding. VM switch. All right, and so now we are going to see, let me actually open another one here. We should see the run current system in switched configuration. It actually restarts the service. So it compares it, we saw this earlier here. Parse unit. Compare units. So I think probably all of, oh, ignores. It doesn't trigger for changing these. Okay, but all other fields, if you change them, they do trigger the unit to be reloaded. And so, right, so like description, documentation, if you update these and feigns you're on success, because these don't really influence the unit being run. Yeah, and so if we go back here, back to this, we saw here stopping the following units and starting the following units, and we should also see that in, oh, I can't use Control R here. My service -E. So yeah, we saw here stopping, started, and now it ran the new configuration. All right, but maybe we don't want to, yeah, actually, how do we do this? And maybe we don't want it to be restarted. And we saw a slight hint in here. It's not that implements this, but there's an reload triggers. Maybe let's jump into the Nix's options actually to hopefully find some documentation on this. The reload triggers, I believe that's the corresponding option. Yeah, here, reload triggers. So an arbitrary list of items such as derivations, if any item in the list changes between reconfigurations, the service will be reloaded. If anything but a reload trigger changes in the unit file will be restarted instead. Okay, so I believe we can use this by doing something like this. Let's create a, well, let's do it like this. Yeah, I might need to have like a variable in here. Well, let's put a variable up here. Delete this because we don't need it. So let's put a variable here. I want a single derivation that determines what it prints every time. So I'm going to create an output derivation. We use write the config to our service. I'm not sure what you mean. What I'm imagining right now is something like the output, write text, we're going to say output, and in here we're just going to put still, or let's use hello world now. Okay, and now I want to say that environment.etc.source, etc.output.source equals, so we're going to use a mutable reference in the system to make sure that we don't accidentally restart the unit when we change this file, because any change in the string here causes it to change the hash and the output hash, and the output path, I mean. And so whenever we would change that and we'd insert it in here, so like we did this here, output, yeah, this string would change, and so the entire unit changes, and then you need to restart it. Oh yeah, that works to my service.conf. Yeah, that should, yeah, that also works. Right, so, oh, right, we can actually just do, yeah, well, we can do it either way. So I'm first going to try this one. So we're going to set this, so this makes sure that etc output points to this derivation. Then in here, instead of doing this here, we're going to say cat etc output. Okay, and if we just did that, the unit wouldn't be restarted if we change it. So, but we changed the unit for now, we changed this here. So the first time we do this, VM switch, it should change it. Oh, and we have an error. My instances doesn't exist. Oh, we removed something that was apparently needed to evaluate something from before. So let's actually get rid of all of this. And also, I believe that there's some things in here that we don't really need. Actually, no, this is the main configuration. Personal in here. No, that also seems fine. Module.nix instances. We don't need this. Grab module.nix, since I don't have rep grep apparently. -v -r. Okay, VM demo. Oh, I can copy the directory into itself, didn't I? Tree VM. Yeah, I sure did. That's why it was off. Anyways, let's try it again. VM switch. That seems better than last time. Okay, let's see. VM switch. I'm like using different windows all the time, but that's fine. So demo. Oh, we have command completed. I kind of want this for my own system here. And yeah, it still fails. So where did I declare this? Actually, I should take a look at the error, demo.nix. I have this open in here. Oh, down here it is. Right, we don't need this. And I need to save. And then let's try again. All right, and hope that works. So I removed let's look into it here. I've removed the include all modules. And so that's, if you turn this off, it's by default, it's false. If you turn this on, it builds also documentation for your own modules. In our case, we don't really need that. We don't have any options in our configuration.nix. But yeah, very useful option, but we don't need it in this case. And so all the manual is included still if you turn that off, which is the default. All right, we saw here stopping the unit. So my service was stopped and restarted. That's because we actually changed it this time. But now if we try to change this and say, actually, let's make sure it actually prints the thing we wanted. My service -e. All right, print hello world. Now let's do hello Sylvan, that's my name. And well, I need to make sure I save here. And VM switch again. It takes a bit of time to do these rebuilds, unfortunately. And that's been a growing problem. I remember opening an issue a while ago about Nix's rebuild switch being too slow. Full screen this. Just here, would be nice to have this in the chart, but in Nix's 2014, this was the time, and this continuously increased over like years. And I believe if I did another benchmark today, it would be another like 2 times more or something. Okay, but now this time we got not much, since it had no idea what it's restarting all the time, to be honest. But that didn't work, and the service should still print the old one. And I'm going to use -F so we can follow the service. No, it did actually change. Oh, right. That's a good point. Yeah, that actually does work, because we just print etc output here. The system doesn't need to reload anything. Like, all of it is already here. So, well, I mean, I guess that works if you only need to do that. Let's say, how could we simulate that? We should read it at the start. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, let's do that. Well, I guess we need something we can actually reload, although that I don't actually know how to make bash kind of accept reloads. But let's see what happens, I guess. Add etc output, and I mean, let me briefly Google that. Bash grab as reload. Oh, HTTP. Oh, and I guess we can just execute something. Yeah, that should actually work. So we're going to put a trap here and say, well, I guess let's declare the output before. Then in here, let's say output, or let's do like a load output, create a small function, and say that output is this. I'm also going to say declare output, just so we have the variable defined in advance. And we are going to load the output on HUP, not HUG. All right, starting, and we're going to echo the output here. Output. All right. Oh, actually, the quote here. So this is actually not necessary to do. For bash variable assignments, you don't need the quotes. But yeah, in many other cases you do, and so we can also add quotes here. Declare output. That sounds about right. It would be nice to also have some kind of syntax checks. Don't have to, but you should. Maybe. All right, let's try this out. And maybe we can also kind of figure out, because I don't like writing bash within Nix. I think that's, I mean, just generally writing languages within other languages, I feel like it's a bit of an anti-pattern. So we could also do something like, instead of using script here, which uses a Nix string, we could say something like service config.exec start. So that's what script uses underneath. And then in here we could do something like packages.write shell application. And in here we could then say, well, that also takes text, so we haven't really improved anything. You can do like a built-in .read file and then store it somewhere else. But I think it's a bit unnecessary to read this at evaluation time, like into a Nix string. See, maybe let's play around with that if we have time. Oh yeah, we have 5 minutes left. Actually, we won't have time. So let's see. Starting the units. Okay, now we need to actually make some change. Let's verify it did the thing. Starting. Oh, it doesn't do anything. Yeah. Okay, how do we debug this? We could do a system control cat my service but auto-completed. We can take a look at the exec start here. That's what it uses underneath. Just kind of, let me just cut that, verify that it's correct. And then also I can run it manually. So I'll just do that here. Starting, indeed, that doesn't start. And now since this is bash, we can I do this? No, I can't do this. We can do a bash-x instead. All right. Sleep 5. Oh, it doesn't seem to output anything. So output seems to be undefined. Oh, yeah, that's because I didn't actually ever call the output function in the beginning. Makes a lot of sense. So we need to also do, so let's do it here, load output. I'm like half a minute ahead in relation to the stream, so it's sometimes a bit. Already figured it out. All right, and next is VM switch, and let's actually maybe I'll check if we can just add the -x at the end here. -x. No, that doesn't work. Doesn't pass it to bash. Okay, building the things, starting the unit. Let's check that it works this time. All right, it seems to work. Now let's actually change it. And let's say hello, Yuri, as a co-host. And well, we need to rebuild. Save, rebuild. Yeah, we had some. Traditionally in Jitsi, we had some after hours that were going after the Jitsi call, after the Nix Hour. We can maybe have something like this again. Rebuild, still waiting for evaluation. I feel like it's like 10 seconds there. All right, it was, oh, nothing was reloaded. Oh, right, yeah, I wanted to show this off at some point. So still, we need the reload triggers that we just looked at earlier. So bring it up again, reload triggers. Well, here, services one, although they're all the same. So yeah, we can put like an item in here, such as a derivation. And so we can do this here and reload triggers, say that this is output. So we can do that, but we actually don't necessarily need this kind of intermediate variable. We can instead also just inline this here. Say that this is this directly, and because the module system allows you to refer to variables, we can do this instead and do config.environment.etc.output.source. So this is exactly the value we assigned here. And this is also nice because we have it right in here, etc output and etc output here. All right, let's try reloading or rebuilding and reloading, hopefully. And that's going on, that's still printing. Yeah, another topic might be systemd run, to run services kind of ad hoc. Maybe you could actually use set environment variables as well with systemd run. So we could set, well, we can influence the bash call actually. Anyways, chop type reload is not applicable for unit system my system.service. I think, oh right, it tried to reload it, failed. Let's just see. Chop type reload is not applicable for unit. So do we need something like systemd.exec? I believe there's a, or service, I believe. Type. Type, exec start, exec working. One shot dbus notify. It's not quite. If I reload. Oh, that sounds about right. Although we aren't sending this notification that the reload is finished. Yeah, we could also do that. We're a bit short on. Let's try to do this still. So notify reload seems to be, well, although it's similar to notify. Right, and then we also need to send a ready message once it is started up. And I believe there is a CLI, a systemd CLI you can use to actually do that. So let's try it out. So we need to change the service config.type equals, what is it? I forgot. Systemd service type. It's notify reload or something. Oh yeah, it's notify and reload. Okay. Notify reload, and then also let's check out what the actual CLI is. I believe notify reload, sd notify. Let's just check, is it systemd reload or signal notify? Is it systemd notify? Oh yeah, that actually looks good. So do we have a quick tutorial here ready? That sounds pretty good. So systemd notify ready in one hand. So we would put this in here and say like starting, and then probably in here, systemd reload or notify ready. Reloading, inform the beginning of the configuration reload cycle. Reloading, we don't need that, I believe. Exec, what did it say here? What we needed? Reload being finished. We need reloading equals 1. When should it have to reply? Oh, once reloading is complete, another notification must be sent with ready. Okay. Yes. Okay, that should work. So we need to do this one here, reloading. Feels a bit unnecessary to do all of this, but maybe that's just what we need. Reloading, loading. Actually, this should be in here. And then in here we do ready again. All right, let's see if this works. I'm a bit doubtful on the first try, but let's try. Yeah, it uses a dbus, I believe. This was mentioned in here somewhere. SD notify. Notification message. SD notify, is that? Oh, we don't have this man page, but you can use man pages, I believe. And now we still don't have it. That's. So it might be like systemd or something. Exec reload. Oh yeah, that might also work. It might be simpler. So notify reload. Attribute set of systemd option. Did we make a mistake here? Service config.type equals notify reload. Why? Oh, what is the problem here? It looks correct to me. Oh, systemd service field type cannot have a value. Why can it not have that? systemd.service. Shouldn't that be notify reload? Yeah, if the service supports reloading, it uses a signal to start the reload. Oh, well, start the reload. Let's notify reload instead is recommended. So I guess, yeah, it might be a bit backwards here. This might not actually work. So you're saying exec reload kill dash hup main PID should just work. Oh, let's try it out. It would have been nice to show the system denotify ones here. Although we could still use this for like if we have a where did the man page go? Type. If we have a so exec is immediately after forking that use notify. Oh, okay. So we would this says we should use notify. Right, so we could, I guess we could do this. Let's at least do the notify in here and say notify ready once it is started up. And then we're going to use type notify. I hope that works. I'm not sure why notify reload doesn't work. And then for the exec reload, we're just going to do kill dash hup main PID. Let's try this out. So it triggers that. Oh, and actually, let's also do this. Go loading output. Okay. Another VM switch. And hopefully that's going to work. Bit stretched out on time, although ideally we could just make brief cuts to cut out the waiting. That would be nice. Oh, for a bunch of them, the option is actually just an integer of infinity according to the manual. Oh, that's a bit weird. Okay, so that actually worked. Let's check out. Get rid of the logs here. General control -u my service -e. All right, we have that. Although that would have also worked if we didn't, because we changed this. So let's change it back to me, and yeah, switch. And hope that works. Let me also do this here, -f. We can see it continuously going. All right, waiting for the rebuild. Might try to reload the existing unit that doesn't support reloads yet. Could be true, yeah. Oh, is that why it failed? That right? Oh, I think that's what you said there. Reload failed. So I mean, let's do a system control restart my service. Maybe. Didn't that support reloads now? Got my service. Exec reload. Yeah, that should work. So we reset it manually. I'm not sure that should have been required. Maybe I need to write shell application for exec reload. I feel like this should have the same effect if we do it like this. Let's try it again. So control. Hopefully it's going to work this time. Kind of want to make something work here. I don't have killing path there. Oh, I might not have. Yeah. Guess we'll see in a second. Yeah. We sure might not have kill in there. So we could do it like this. Packages get bin packages core utils bin kill. This feels a bit hacky, but let's try it out. Now we need to make sure it actually also gets restarted, although it should get restarted automatically because we changed the service here. Right. Well, let's see. Rebuilding and we still need to restarted it. It's good. Now finally, can we get it to work? This might have to be our final try. Yep, evaluation time does get on your nerves. And it's worse the more machines you have, since each individual machine has its own evaluation time, unless you can somehow reuse part of the evaluation, though I'm not really sure there's a good technique for doing that in general. Reloading, it succeeded, and well, we didn't change it live, but yes, it worked, finally. Okay. So yeah, that's great. So that works. Although, I mean, I feel like this shouldn't really be necessary because isn't this the default? Although, yeah, I feel like this shouldn't be necessary. Let me figure this out later. Maybe not necessary. Since it is the default, I believe, to call a HUP. Like, I guess if we have the notify here, at least. But yeah. Anyways, I'll commit the code here. This will be it for now. Thanks for watching and see you. There's reload signal, but it already defaults to HUP. Yeah. All right, but yeah, thanks for watching and see you.